This is injustice right here, what we're going through.
Eddie Salas and his sons Edward Crisostomo and Christopher Crisostomo say they were wrongfully arrested, while their alleged assailant, off-duty police officer Jojo Garcia, was booked and released. The father and sons were arrested on a handful of offenses, including attempted murder, aggravated assault, unlawful discharge of a firearms without a valid firearms ID, terrorizing, and reckless conduct.
We're supposed to be the victims and not the suspects, but we were treated like suspects.
It was on Friday Eddie and his sons went to Ipan Beach after they got word his younger son, Eddie Boy, was in danger. Eddie Boy and two nephews were camping at their family beach that night. When Eddie Boy was using the showers, he alleges he was approached by an unknown man and woman who repeatedly shined a light to his face.
Right when we passed each other, he flashed his light again to my face, so I stopped and I asked him, why are you flashing your light to my face? Because I was suspicious about it and I was concerned. So the cop stopped and he said, "What? Do you know who the F I am?" And I said, "No, I do not know who you are." And he started getting mad and kept repeating himself, "Do you know who the F I am?"
Although it was too dark to see, Eddie Boy quickly realized the man was armed.
I didn't know he pulled out a gun until he shot it down towards my feet.
The unknown woman allegedly told Eddie Boy to leave. That's when he went back to their family beach and called his father for help.
We made 2 attempts to talk to the individual, but instead of listening to us, he turned around and he started firing at us. And that's when we had to get out of there and go to our side of the beach by the cemetery. But the police officers see it differently because they find sped rounds there. They think that it's ours. They think that we were shooting back at them. We were shooting back at that police officer.
The family found cover behind the trees but could see from the silhouettes what appeared to be a man holding a semi-automatic rifle. The father and his two sons spent the weekend in jail, but because they weren't seen by a judge within 48 hours of their arrest, were released on Monday. On Sunday, over a dozen police officers raided their home after presenting what they believe was a bogus search warrant. KOM sent a copy of the warrant to Administrator of the Courts Joshua Tenorio and GPD Acting Spokesperson Officer Paul Tapao. Tenorio tells KOM court marshals did not effectuate any search warrants on Sunday. Meanwhile, GPD had no further information on the matter. Eddie Salas and his sons are set to appear in court in January 2019. The Attorney General's office confirms the charges could be pending, not dismissed. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.